Yeah, so let's kick it off. Yeah, the session is recorded, so I wanted to start with first introducing myself. I'm Doris van der Kroft. I'm the CTO for Landano, and I'm really thrilled to present the Cardano Mendix plugin to you guys. So it's this plugin aims to bring a connection between Mendix and the Cardano blockchain. And what Mendix is and what Cardano is I'll tell you about it. So I have a small agenda for today. So we'll first give you an introduction into Mendix, and then we'll go over the Cardano Mendix plugin, the overview, its features. I'll give you a live demonstration of the plugin, and then we'll briefly look at the roadmap for the future features. And finally, I have some room for Q&A sessions. But yeah, feel free to ask questions along the way. Your mics are all open, so if you have a question, just come off mute and ask the question. So actually, I have just been given a new slide deck for the Mendix presentation, which I'll happily use. So I prepared some others. So what is Mendix? Mendix is like the to-go-to low-code platform, low-code, high-impact. What we're seeing is that businesses are under pressure, especially the CIOs, to deliver more and more software. We see that 76% of the CIOs, they report an increased demand for the new digital products and services. And if we're looking at traditional software development and delivery methods, they are just not keeping up. 1/3 of projects are delayed by more than 6 months. So Mendix aims to give a solution for that. So how do we bridge this gap with Mendix? It's a robust low-code platform, and it's really designed for the enterprise app development. So unlike basic node tools or SaaS extensions, Mendix provides the tools needed to handle complex business needs and enhance developer productivity. It supports the full application lifecycle from ideation to deployment, and it promotes collaboration across teams. We see a very large increase also in low-code application development, and it keeps on gaining momentum. So where we saw in 2021, there was 25% of applications built in low-code. It's now up to 75%. But yeah, of course, not all the low-code platforms, they're equal. Mendix is really a broad portfolio of enterprise software. It tackles pretty much everything, where others are more niche focused, basically. Yeah, so the enterprise software development is a complex development process, and Mendix, yeah, is helping you throughout the whole process, basically. I'm going over this a bit faster. So you have also a lot of deployment options for Mendix. So we have the Mendix Cloud, which is dedicated, or you can have your own private cloud or even host on SAP. And it also comes with a lot of online platform services like the team server, where you do your collaboration, but also like the building of packages and the deployment. And that's all. And the development is actually handled in the studio, which is basically the IDE for Mendix. It's also App Store based. So yeah, you can develop your own set of plugins, so it's fully extensible. And that's one of the reasons that we chose also for Mendix from Landano point of view. So one for the enterprise features, and also the extensibility, so that enables us to build this plugin for the Cardano blockchain. Yeah, it's really used a lot throughout the whole industry, basically. So Siemens, well, Mendix is actually a Siemens company. So they have built over 500 apps, have over 240,000 application users, and actually more than 15,000 platform users, which means they are actually developing the software. So this is a brief overview of the Mendix customer landscape. So you can really see that it goes through the whole, or all these different verticals. And yeah, one of them is where we're close to with Landano, with real estate, of course. And soon also Cardano implementation. So it's really a single platform to build a broadest set of use cases, which you can do digitalize customer experiences, you can automate business processes, and modernize core systems. And for us, that's then with Landano, we're aiming to do property rights using the Cardano blockchain. And that's a nice bridge to the Cardano Mendix plugin. So when I created this slide deck, I was assuming a bit that everyone had some Cardano knowledge. I don't know if that's true. So that's a question I have for you guys.
Not really.
Not really. Mm-hmm. But totally new to crypto, or
No, I don't have any in-depth knowledge about Cardano itself. I know the crypto, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like Bitcoin, Cardano is a blockchain, and it's actually very close to Bitcoin if you look at the way it works, except that it's proof of stake instead of proof of work. And on the Cardano chain, you can also run smart contracts. So that's actually the main difference.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, that enables us to create applications on top of the Cardano blockchain. So there's a couple of things that we wanted to do with this Mendix plugin. So those are the set of initial features. So to interact with the blockchain, you need a wallet. Otherwise, you can't do any transactions. So that's why we have implemented basic wallet support. There are also wallets available already, like in the market, but and we'll definitely interact with them in a future release. But we also thought it's very important to have our own wallet support built into the plugin, because then it works out of the box, basically. And you also have your users still in the application, and they don't need to go to another application to sign transactions, for instance. So yeah, another thing is very simple transfer, which is basically moving funds from a sender to a receiver, which is what the blockchain was built for initially. We've added metadata support so that you can add a message to a transaction, and it can be like a very simple message, just a hello world, for instance, but it can also be a bit more complex in the form of a JSON string or something, so that you can later use it in a DApp. Then what's also quite unique for Cardano is the NFT creation. So it has built-in token support, where other chains, they rely on smart contracts to handle these kind of tokens. Cardano actually has that built in. So we'll go over that soon. And then, of course, very important smart contract, so that you can actually build logic around those transactions happening on the chain. And then, for all this to work, we're also adding Block Frost, and Block Frost is basically a set of APIs that can query the chain for all kinds of things like wallets, transactions, epochs, that kind of thing. Then it's time for the demo. The moment you've all been waiting for. Let me see. To pop up the right window. So out of the box, Mendix always comes with the actually Web 2 way of working. So you have your username and password that you have to enter, but we've also already added like a connect with wallet feature, or well, it's not working yet, but that's also definitely in the future, where you can actually use your wallet to sign into Mendix. That's coming later. So I've given an overview of all the features that we have implemented, and I want to go over them one by one. So here we basically see a simple overview of the wallets that we have in the system at the moment, with their balance and a set of transactions. And we can go ahead and create a wallet. And I don't know if you have gone through creating a wallet yourself, but you always get a mnemonic. And this mnemonic phrase, basically, if you enter this phrase, you'll get that's the key for your wallet, basically. So also, if you lose this, you will lose all your funds. So you should always make sure to write it down correctly. And actually, the important thing is to really write it down and not rely on copy and paste functionality, but for demo purposes and for pre-prop purposes, we have included it. And also if there's like a very limited set of or the funds are really low, then it doesn't really matter. Well, you still want to hide it, of course, and not share it with the world. So to make sure that you have actually written down the words correctly, we asked to reproduce them. I've copy and pasted them for the demo purposes now. And then Mendix will check if everything was entered correctly. And we give it a name and we give it a passphrase, which is basically the passphrase is your password to to sign off the transactions, because you don't want to be asking the users to fill in that 24 word all the time, because it's very cumbersome. And then we'll confirm it, and the wallet is then created, and you can start interacting with it. So it's given us an address and a stake address, but of course not a balance yet. So to give it, to be able to use it, we'll give it a bit of a balance. So we'll look for a simple transaction. We'll put in the receiver address, and we'll give it some money. And this is also to showcase immediately that we can add some metadata. So my awesome Cardano transaction. So it's prepared this transaction for us. We see the from address, we see the receiver address, and the amount, so we can double check this. And if we're all okay with it, then we type in our passphrase, and it's then confirmed. And I see one thing that's not working correctly yet, but will be in the future, because this transaction is actually the wrong one. This URL is not working. So I'll go ahead and close this, because there's an easier way to show this. If we refresh the wallet here, of course, during demo, always things go wrong. Check. Oh yeah, there it is. It just took a while to propagate. So now we see the balance from this wallet. It goes down. We sent 50 ADA, so it will send 50 ADA to the other wallet, minus the transaction fees, or plus the transaction fees. So, and we can look at this transaction to actually prove that it's not just happening in Mendix, but also it's on registered on the blockchain. So you can see it has 2 confirmations already. It was added to this block, and you can see the UTXO, so 50 ADA and .1733377 Lovelace was sent to the wallet. I hear someone popping in. Is there a question? Because I can't see you on the screen.
I believe there's a question, not sure.
Yeah, please go ahead. Ask the question. Or is it in the chat?
It was in the chat.
Okay.
So it's not a question. I was just pointing out that the transaction happened between CMP test 2 and the CMP test 4. So, I mean, audience should take note of that. So it wasn't a question. It was just a highlight. Just to make the work easy for you. So you can go ahead, Doris.
Oh, his connection is dropped.
Oh,
Um, He's back.
Yeah. You're welcome. So I was only throwing highlights on the fact that the transaction happened between CMP test 2 and then CMP test 4. So it wasn't a question. I was just trying to make things easier for you as you proceed. You're muted.
Yes, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so as I was in, so there's also the metadata. So you see the message, my awesome Cardano transaction, and this is just a simple thing. But yeah, you can imagine adding like some identifiers in there if you want to like register something public and you want it tied to a time frame, then you can use this kind of transactions for that. Then we'll go over to an NFT creation. So NFTs can be used in several ways. So NFTs are non-fungible tokens. So it's really used to prove digital ownership in many ways. Like you're the owner of a JPEG, for instance. But we are actually using that same technique to represent a plot of land, or to represent the rights to plot of land. So we can go ahead and create an NFT. We'll give it an asset name, and for simple purposes, we will just do the same. We'll give it an address or an URL, a description, an NFT created during the Cardano Mendix Plugin demo. And we'll give it, so images are actually not stored on the blockchain itself, but we rely on the other decentralized storages, such as IPFS or Arweave, to store the actual image or video or file. We'll give it the receiver address where it's going to. And we'll say which wallet is going to be used to actually create this NFT. Then we can also add a file to it. So for Landano, we have like documentation packages, and we can also store that in the NFT. And in this case, we're using Arweave for that. And then we'll go ahead and save. And then our NFT is created.
Do you have to pay a fee to create an NFT?
Yeah, so you have to pay the transaction fee, actually.
Oh, that's it. Okay, got it.
Yep. Yeah. And of course, yeah, you can further monetize this. You could sell this as a service, of course. Yeah, like NMaker is a very common name in the Cardano space. So to show that it's actually registered again, we have to wait a little bit. NFTs take a little bit longer to create sometimes. Another go. Yes, there it is. So here's the transaction hash, and to answer your question, so it's a bit hard to demonstrate.
Yeah, I could see the difference.
Yeah. So you have an input, and then you have a transaction amount. You see it starts at 412, what you input,
Yeah.
And then 411 you get back.
Got it.
So the token is minted, and you can see the metadata for it. So the name, the CMP demo, we've given that those files in Arweave with the Landano documentation package, and it also has an image, IPFS, and a very interesting name, the NFT created during the Cardano Mendix Plugin demo. Yes, thank you. I'm going to close this. And then onto the smart contract integration, because we've handled like the simple transaction already and the metadata and NFTs. So then we'll show the smart contract. Let me see. So we have, so we're making use of Aiken, which is like Cardano has like several ways to do smart contracts. Many are written in Plutus, but Plutus is Haskell, and Haskell is proven to be very difficult for a lot of developers. So somebody came up with the Aiken playground, or with Aiken, which is like a much simpler language to do smart contracts. So, but in the end, I believe it's still converted to Plutus, because that's what the blockchain understands. So we went ahead and do the Hello World example. Implement that first, because that will open up the door for more interesting use cases. So this is the smart contract, but I'll not go into depth here what it exactly does. I think that's for another session, and the main thing is now to showcase that smart contracts work within the platform. But I'll be happy to do another deep dive on that another time. So in the end, this smart contract is then transferred to CBOR hacks, which is a full representation of the contract, which is then published on the chain. And we first need to lock in some funds. So we have the Plutus script code. We'll give it an amount. We'll give it a receiver address. And we then again select the wallet that we want to use and confirm it with our passphrase. And this will also take a bit of time. Are there any questions at the moment? Yes, there it is. So now the smart contract is actually known on the chain with its own TX log hash and the script address, because all contracts have their own address. And yeah, so the very simple thing that this contract does is basically if you send it hello world, you will be able to redeem the locked in ADA. So we'll go ahead and redeem that. And I'm hoping I'm doing this right now. Otherwise, you have to jump in, Derek, because it's mainly Derek who has worked on this. I just get the honor to demo it. So this is the gas phrase, and the signer mnemonic. In this case, we haven't chosen to do the passphrase. So I have to look that up real quick. Did that work correctly, Derek? I don't think so.
Did you select the correct contract?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think the last contract is the right contract.
Oh. This one.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we can redeem it.
So, yeah, redeem. Copy. Let me double check that. Yeah. And the signer mnemonic is the one for the
Receiver.
Oh, for the receiver. Oh, that's a good one. I think it's this one. Maybe that's there. It's taking a bit longer. Yes, there it is. So now what has happened is that we've given it the right word, and it's released the funds to us. And we should be able to see that now. Yes. So we got the funds minus the transaction fees. And that brings us to the end of the demo. Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, it was a wrong button. I wanted to upload as well.
Okay.
Sorry. First time in Google Meet.
No worries, no worries. Go back to slide. So what we'll be working on before we're eventually releasing this, as you can see, still need some quality improvements in terms of error handling, and also looking at Mendix best practices. We are working together with a UX designer who has already done like a lot of work on the wallets to make it even look better and also more user friendly. So then full token support, and that's mainly at the moment it's only possible to do simple transactions with ADA. So we also want to able to send and receive tokens, and that you see that as a balance also on your wallet. Then we'll be looking at multi-sig support. So you can also create policy scripts where it is required to have like multiple people signing off the transaction. So for instance, if you have clearance to do transactions up to 1,000 ADA, then you can handle it yourself. And above that, you need like another one to sign it. Then you need basically 2 wallets to sign off that transaction before it actually is executed on the chain. And then, of course, we're looking to place this in the marketplace for Mendix, also with the documentation, so that everyone can start using this plugin. And as a stretch goal, we'll also be doing the SIP30 integration, which are basically the wallets that are out there, like Lace or Eternal, so that basically all the transactions are signed off there. And the advantage there is that you don't have any key storage in the Mendix platform, but it's all handled on the device, basically on the edge. Yeah, then have some time for Q&A. You have a question, Roy?
Not particularly. I just wanted to
No.
say that I really like the demo. I really like the way you presented this. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Yes.
Maybe one other question, because I've never heard of the project. Is it going to be used to buy plot of land and sell plot of land? I heard you mention something like that.
Yeah, so what we do is we secure property rights. So we have a project now in Mozambique, and we have a project in Ghana. The one in Mozambique is the closest actually to have NFTs minted. So our partner there already has done all the groundwork basically, and we get to use their data to create plots and have an actual representation of the rights and of the plot itself, which then can be used for financing purposes, or like carbon emission rights, that kind of things.
Got it.
Thank you. Yes, Aaron?
Yeah. Is there a way for anyone to submit like a question or anything like that, a comment about this prototype later, if they have one, or a comment or a question?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you can always reach out to me. Well, my Twitter handle is, or X handle is in the beginning. But also happily share my my email address in the chat so that you can reach out to me directly. Or you can also tweet with us on the Landano app, or send an email to the info@landano.io. All fine. Then I also happily share the link to the sandbox, actually, because then I'd like you all to share a bit of feedback, like so that we can see where we can improve and yeah, incorporate that in the final version of the plugin. And that brings us to the end. I think if there are no more questions, then I would thank you all for attending, and happy holidays and a good 2025, good start of the new year.
Same to you, Doris. Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Okay,
You
bye-bye.
too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, Aaron.
Hey,
Let's close this because it will be recorded. Yeah, shall we?
yeah, I think the recording stopped when you dropped off. I'm not sure about that, but I started yeah.
It still says this call is being recorded. So
Okay.
yeah, let's drop in or go to another call.